Hello everyone, welcome back to our another JavaScript project, and in this project we are going to create a simple calculator using HTML CSS and JavaScript. And here you can see that in my screen we have a calculator right now, and this calculator is completely working and it is functional. We can do all kinds of simple mathematics using this calculator. Inside this calculator here you can see that we have a black screen, and inside this screen if anyone types any number or any buttons, those numbers will be showing in our this screen. And at the bottom here you can see that we have some functional buttons, and then we have some numbers, and then we have our equal, and we have a clear button also. Suppose if I want to multiply 5 with 5, and if I want to see the result, here you can see that it is showing 25. And if I want to clear our this screen, we just have to click on our clear button. And suppose if I want to divide 84 by 2, and if I click on our equal to button, here you can see that we have our 42 result. And inside this calculator you can actually do multiple maths without clearing the screen. Suppose if I want to divide this 42 by 2 again, here you can see that we have our 21. And suppose if I want to multiply this 21 with 9, here you can see that it is showing 189. So guys, here you can see that our this calculator is working perfectly and it is completely functional. Now in a few moments I will show you how to create this complete JavaScript calculator using HTML and CSS. But before we get started, if you guys are new in my channel, then please subscribe, like this video and press the bell icon for the future videos. And if you guys have any question about this video, please let me know in my comment section. That's it guys, let's get started. Inside my file directory, here you can see that we have three files. One is our app.js file, our index.html file, and our style sheet. Now first we have to open our index.html file. Inside our HTML file, here you can see that we have a simple HTML boilerplate. We have given a title, we have linked our style sheet, and then we have linked our app.js file. And inside our style sheet, here you can see that inside our star we have margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. And inside our body we have our height of 100 ph, and we have a different background color. And if I go to my app.js file, here you can see that our app.js file is empty right now. And if I go to my website, first we have to create our this interface. Here you can see that we have a box here, and we have to create this box first, and we have to place this box in the center of our screen. So for creating this interface, first we have to go to our index.html file, and inside our body we have to create a section, and then we have to give a class, and the class name will be calculator. And inside this calculator, first we have to create our this screen. So for creating this screen, we have to actually create a form. So let's take a form, and from here we have to remove our action. And inside this form we have to create an input, and then we have to give a class name, and the class name will be screen. Now save and go to our website. Here you can see that we have an input in the top left. After this one we have to create our this button interface. So for creating this one, let's go to our code, and underneath our form we have to create a div tag, and we have to give a class name, and the class name will be buttons. That's it. And inside our button box, first we have to create our these four functional buttons. So for creating these things, let's create a button tag, and then we have to give the type, and type will be button. And then we have to give a class name, and class name will be button. And then we have to add another class name which will be button yellow. That's it. Now the most important thing, we have to add an attribute, and this attribute name is data dash num. And inside this attribute we have to actually put the functional thing. It means if I go to my website, here you can see that we have a star here. So we have to put a star inside our this attribute. That's it. And inside our button tag we have to also put our star. That's it. Now I will simply copy this button and then paste it 4 times. That's it. Now after our star we have to also put our these operators. So for this one we have to next add the divider, and then we have to put this divider inside our attribute also. And then we have to add our minus, and then we have to put our minus inside our attribute also. After that we have to add our plus, and then we have to add the plus here also. Now save, and if I go to my website, here you can see that we have 4 buttons here. Now after these buttons we have to add our this number buttons. So for doing this, just paste our this button, and from our this class we have to change this class, we have to modify this class, and we have to change the yellow and it will be gray. And inside our button we have to first put our number 9, and also we have to put this number 9 inside our data attribute. Now I will simply copy this one and then paste it 10 times. Now for the rest of these buttons we have to change the button name, and then we have to also change the data attribute for each of these buttons. And guys, here you can see that we have completed all of our number buttons. Here you can see that we have different numbers, and then we have also changed the data attribute numbers. And guys, after our these buttons we have more 2 buttons left. Here you can see that this one and our clear button. So I will simply copy this button again and then paste it 2 more times. And for our these 2 buttons we don't need to add any data attribute. That's it. And the first button name will be equal, and the second button name will be C. It means clear. Now save and go to our website. Here you can see that we have all the buttons in one row. Now guys, we have done with our HTML. Now we have to style our this calculator. So for styling this one, let's go to our code, and from here copy this calculator class, go to our style sheet and then paste it here. First I am going to do, I will give a width, and the width will be 300 pixel, and then we have to add a height will be 500 pixel. Then we have to add a box shadow, and for the X it will be 4 pixel, from the Y it will be also 4 pixel, and for the radius it will be 30 pixel, and we have to add a RGB value. That's it. Now save and go to our website. Here you can see that we have now our calculator, and this calculator is having width of 300 pixel and height of 500 pixel. Now after this one, I want this box, this calculator to be placed in the center of our screen. So for doing this, let's go to our body, and here what we have to do, we have to add a display flex, and then we have to add justify content center, and then we have to add align items center. Now save and go to our website. Here you can see that we have our calculator at the center of our screen. Now we have to add more styling inside our this calculator. So first thing I am going to do, I will add a border radius, and it will be 12 pixel, and then I will add a different background color, and it will be this one, and then I will add overflow hidden. Now save and go to our website, and here you can see that we have now different background color, and then we have some border radius. So after our interface, now I am going to style our screen. So for doing this, let's go to our code, and from here copy our this form and then paste it here. And then if I go to my index, here you can see that we have an input here. Now copy this input and then paste it here. So first I will set the width of 100%, and then I will give a height of 150 pixel. Then I don't want to add any border, and it will be none. And then I will add border radius 12 pixel. Then I will add font size of 2 rem, and then I will add some padding, and the padding will be 1 rem from everywhere. Then I will set a color, and the color will be white. Then I will add a background color, and it will be black. Now save and go to our website. Here you can see that we have now our screen, and if I click on our screen, here you can see that the text is actually starting from the left side, but I want this text to be starting from the right side. So that's why we have to add text align, and it will be right. Now save and go to our website, and here you can see that our text is now starting from the right side. But I want to do another thing. I want our this screen to be unclickable. It means I want to actually prevent all the clicks. I don't want anybody to click on our screen and change the values. So I will actually disable the clicking on our input section. So that's why we have to add pointer events, and it will be none. Now save and go to our website. Here you can see that we can't actually select the text here. We can't even actually click on our this screen. Now here you can see that the screen is now unclickable. So after doing this, now we have to install our these buttons. So for styling, let's go to our code. First, let's go to our index, and from here copy this button tag and then paste it here. So first I'm going to do, I will give a width of 60 pixel, and then I will add a height of 52 pixel, and then I will add a font size of 22 pixel and a font width of 600, and then I will add a border radius and it will be 5 pixel, then cursor pointer. Now save and go to our website, and here you can see that we have now our buttons. Now we have to install our these buttons. We have to add some colors, and we have to place these buttons in the center of our calculator. So for doing this, let's go to our code, and here I will add flex, and it will be 0, 0 and 22%, and then I will add some margin, and the margin from top and bottom will be 5 pixel, from left and right will be 0, and then I will add a border, and the border will be 1 pixel solid, and the color will be black. After doing this, if I go to my index, and from here copy this buttons class and then paste it here. So for placing our buttons in the center of our calculator, we have to use display flex, and then flex wrap will be wrap. Justify content will be a space between, and then I will add some padding inside our calculator. So that's why it will be 20 pixel from everywhere. Now save and go to our website, and here you can see that we have now padding of 20 pixel from everywhere, and the buttons are now in the center of our calculator. So after doing this, we have to install our these buttons. So for doing this, let's go to our code, and if I go to my index, here you can see that we have a class name which is button yellow. Now copy this button yellow class and then paste it here. So I will add a background color, and it will be a RGB value, and we have to add font color, and it will be white. Just copy this one and then paste it here. Now we have to go to our index, and from here we have to copy this class name button gray and then paste it here. And for our gray button, we have to change the button background color, and it will be also a RGB value. And then I don't want any color, and let's go to our index, and here you can see that we have our two buttons. Now I will modify our this button class name, and it will be button equal, and this one will be button clear. Now I will simply copy this class name and then paste it here, and the background color will be green. Now copy this one and then paste it here. Now we have to change the class name, and it will be clear, and the background color name will be red. Now save and go to our website, and here you can see that we have our green equal background color, and we have a red background color for our clear button. So guys, here you can see that we have successfully created our interface using HTML and CSS. Now we have one thing left. We have to make this calculator alive. So that's why we have to add some JavaScript. So for doing this, let's go to our code, and then let's go to our app.js file. So first we have to add a function. That's it. Now inside our this function, first we have to take our this screen, and then we have to take our all the buttons. Then we have to take our this equal button, and then at the last we have to take our this clear button. So for taking this button inside our JavaScript, let's take a variable, and first we are going to take our screen. So the variable name will be also a screen, and this screen is inside our HTML. So that's why we have to get inside our document, and then we have to select our screen. So that's why we have to use query selector. And then if I go to my index, here you can see that we have a class name screen. Now copy this class name and then paste it here. Now copy this one and then paste it 3 more times. Next I am going to take our buttons, and here you can see that if I go to my index, for all of these buttons we have a single class name common in every button, which is this one, this class name button. So I want to take all the buttons by calling only once. So that's why we have to use query selector all, and then we have to take our button class. After this one, we have to take our clear button, so the variable name will be also clear. And if I go to my index, here you can see that we have a class name which is button clear. Now copy this class name and then paste it here, and then I'm going to take our equal button, so the variable name will be also equal, and then I'm going to take our equal class from our index. Here you can see that we have a class name button equal. Copy this class name and then paste it here. That's it. So guys, here you can see that we have successfully taken all the variables from our index.html file, and now we have to make these variables working. So for doing this, first thing I'm going to do, if I go to my website and if I click any numbers, here you can see that we don't have any data inside our this screen. So first thing I'm going to do, I will create a function so that if anyone types any buttons, those buttons value will be visible inside our this screen. So that's why let's go to our code. So first we have to take our buttons variable and then paste it here. And inside our this buttons variable, we have so many button classes. So I want to check each and every one to find out which button was pressed. So that's why we have to use for each. That's it. And here we have to create a function, and this function will take our button. That's it. So now we have to take our button, and then we have to add an event listener so that we can find out which button was pressed. So we have to add event listener, and we will find out the pressed button if anyone click on those buttons. So that's why we have to define the event name, which is click. And if anyone click on the buttons, we have to run a function, and this function will only work if any event is active. So suppose if I click number 5, we have to first take this value inside a variable. So that's why we have to take a variable and it will be value. And this value is inserted in our index.html file. Here you can see that we have some attributes. So these attributes is actually holding the numbers or the values. So that's why we have to take those values, and here it will be event, and then we have to target our data set. That's it. So after storing the values inside our value variable, we have to push those values inside our screen. So that's why take our screen, and then we have to add the value. That's it. So guys, here you can see that inside our this function, first I have to check which button was pressed. So for finding out the button name and the button data, we are using for each. And then I want to take the values from the buttons if any button was pressed or if any button was clicked. So that's why I'm using add event listener. And if anyone clicks our buttons, I want to take those values and I want to store those values. Then I want to push those values inside our screen. Now save and go to our website. And if I now type anything, here you can see that our these values is now pushed inside our this screen. So guys, we have done with our this numbers functionality. So after this one, we have to actually make this button working, this equal. So that's why. So first we have to take our equal variable, and then I will only make this equal button working if anyone clicks on that button. So that's why we have to add event listener, and the event name will be click. And if anyone clicks, then I want to run a function, and this function will only work if any event is active. That's it. If anyone press this button, first we have to check if this screen is having already some stored value or not. If this screen is having some stored value, then we have to first remove those values, and then we have to store our new values. So for doing this, let's go to our code. So first I have to add a condition. So if condition. So if our screen is having the value of empty, then if anyone press our equal buttons, then we don't have to show anything inside our screen. So that's why take our screen, and then it will be value, and the value will be empty. That's it. Suppose if our screen is empty and now I want to generate a new value. So first we have to generate a new answer. So that's why let's take our else condition, and then let's take a variable and it will be answer, and the answer will be the evaluated value of our screen value. So that's why first we have to call our evaluate function, and then it will be screen and then value. and then our this value will be stored in our answer variable. Now save and go to our website. Here you can see that our screen is now empty. Suppose if I want to add something, and here you can see that we have our result. And this equal button is now working perfectly. Now next thing what we have to do, we have to make our this clear button also working, so that if anyone click on this clear button, our screen will be cleared. So for making this button working, let's go to our code, and then let's take our clear variable, and then we have to add an event listener, and the event listener name will be click, and our this clear button will only work if our this clear button is active. It means if anyone pressed on this clear button, then only we have to make this button working. So simply I will clear our screen. Now copy this one and then paste it here, and here it will be empty. Now save and go to our website, and suppose if I want to do something, here you can see that we have our result, and if I want to clear our screen, we just have to click on our clear button, and here you can see that our screen is now cleared. So guys, here you can see that our this calculator is working and it is completely functional. And I hope you guys enjoyed this JavaScript project, and if you guys really do and want to learn more JavaScript projects, then please subscribe, like this video and press the bell icon for the future videos. And if you guys have any question about this video, please let me know in my comment section. That's it guys, let's see you in our next tutorial.